everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Stateside Speed. Your hosts here are myself, Shaun Thompson. I'm also here with Dennis Tresca, and we're starting this up just because of our increasing love of Formula One, and just kind of want to go over things on a week-to-week basis as the season goes on, because there's just so much going on in the world of Formula One now. The silly season has been, I think, the silliest of many that I can remember. In the recent past.
And it's usually not even this part of the year.
Right. And so we'll get into it a little bit today. Obviously can't cover everything, but obviously testing was last week. And now we have the first race of the year coming up this Saturday in Bahrain. But who knows how the season's going to go. This is like the most exciting time of the year. Unfortunately, I think a lot of us thought, the season was pretty much over halfway through the year last year because Red Bull was on such a tear. And so hopefully we can see a little bit more competitiveness as the season goes on this year. But happy to be here. We're, like we said, we're fairly new. We do have another offshoot that we talk about gambling because we enjoy doing that as well. But
we do
really want to kind of focus on Formula One. And again, we'll just kind of go over the race each and every week. And so hope you'll join us. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Just follow us at Stateside Speed. And then hopefully as we get up and running, we can start a YouTube channel and do some more live stuff as well. And guests as well. So hopefully we can get some more people involved in it as well. So, but very exciting. Can't wait for even practice to start here in about 36, 48 hours. So just crazy.
That's awesome. It's very exciting. Very exciting.
So I just wanted to kind of get into some things here. Obviously there's been a ton of news here lately. The biggest news, I think, probably the two biggest storylines is the announcement that Lewis Hamilton is going to move from Mercedes at the end of this year and move over to Ferrari. Kind of came out of nowhere, but I feel like the hints were even there last year. And now after watching Drive to Survive here, you can really see the foundation being laid in that in the last series of Drive to Survive. And I didn't really notice, and it's probably just because I don't pay as much attention to Mercedes. I'm a McLaren fan. I think Dennis is the same. Obviously he's got the gear on there. So but I didn't realize how frustrated he really was with the car. I can understand not having one and now in almost 2 years, where his frustration would lie with the car, but just moving and jumping over to, I don't think a superior team in any stretch of the imagination. The car might be better, but I don't know that the strategy is on that side of things are any better, but there is a big tie-in with Fred Vasseur and Lewis Hamilton. Right. They really came up as Hamilton was coming up the ranks. And so I can see that, but maybe it's just me. I think
that was the biggest thing. And he's I don't want to say he's running out of time. He could probably race for several more years, but I'm sure he's thinking that way. Like, do I want my legacy to just kind of peter out at Mercedes, or do I want to take one more shot with Ferrari and go out with, bringing Ferrari back to prominence on my way out, that kind of thing. So I get it. I mean, Ferrari,
I do too. And I think most drivers, if you gave them the option, that's, this Ferrari. Is like, it's Ferrari. Everyone wants to drive for Ferrari, I think, as a Formula One driver. So we'll see how it goes. But it was, I think, a fairly shocking announcement. And they even
make it an interesting year.
The season starts, which is even crazier because you usually don't have these things kind of come up until, the
late summer, maybe
mid-season break. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but the fact that they got it done even before this year started. So it's going to make for an interesting dynamic, I think, between Hamilton and Russell. And, at what point does Toto's like, we're not telling Hamilton anything anymore. He's just,
let him do his thing. He'll probably win because they're not controlling.
And I think it probably depends on how competitive they are, this season as well. Kind of where they're at in the constructors and those types of things as well. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
So much fun. This is the stuff I love about Formula One. The race itself is always fun, but there's just so much drama. all the time. There's always something going on.
Yeah. And then the next question is who takes that seat?
Right.
You know, I wouldn't be shocked if it was Norris. I wouldn't be at all, but he just signed a contract extension. So
it all depends on what McLaren does. Can they continue to build on? I mean, they were pretty fast at testing. You know, we'll see.
And I think if they have if they have a complete strong season, McLaren, that is, if they have a complete strong season this year, I think it'll be easier to keep Norris around, especially if he starts winning races. Right. That'll really keep him around for certain because they got 2 strong drivers on that team as well. So it'll be interesting to see who, or, you know, I think Mick Schumacher's still their reserve driver. Do they bring him up? Do they pull Sainz over from Ferrari and just, you know, kind of do a swap? That wouldn't be a bad.
That would be a great
swap either.
Great spot for him, you know. Still very.
Or is there some other, team. You know, Liam Lawson? I mean,
hey,
he's just he kind of got the shaft, I think, last year. But we'll
it won't be DeVries. I know that.
No, and I think Lawson. I mean, he showed up last year, and Ricardo did have some good races after he came back. So, I think they have a, you know, AlphaTauri or whatever, the Red Bull Cash App, RB Cash App,
Visa Cash App. Yeah, rolls right off the tongue.
15 name car. It'll be interesting to see.
Last year's Red Bull car, by the way.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's just
So it'll be interesting to see. And then the other big, huge news that's coming out is this whole debacle, if it is a debacle, because you can't really get a straight answer from one side or the other about what's going on with Christian Horner. There was apparently allegedly some inappropriate messaging or something with an employee of Red Bull. One would assume it was lewd photo. I don't know what it was. I'm not going to make assumptions here by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm going to assume dick pics.
Something like that. Yeah. So it's hard to say.
It is.
But the rumors are, and I hate to be, you know, in the rumor mill, that the announcement's coming. So today is Tuesday, the 27th of February, and supposedly the announcement is coming tomorrow on Wednesday. And it's also been reported that he is not attending the press conference for the team principals before the first race of the year. So take that as you will. So what do you think, Dennis? You think Horner's in or out?
I think he's out. I really do. Well, hard to say. Like you said, right? A lot of rumor mills. Let's see what they're supposedly investigating it, right? So come on, They know by now, right? They know, and they're trying to figure out what to do. I would think that if they didn't find anything, we'd hear about it already.
Right.
I'm guessing they found some stuff, right? Where there's smoke.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things that's telling about the whole situation too is Ford is set to start making their engines in 2026. And the CEO of Ford is like, what the hell is happening?
You beat me to it on that one. Yep. That's what I was going to bring up.
You guys aren't telling us what's happening. We don't know what's going on.
They don't want to lose Ford.
Right.
And Ford is very much about, you know, family values, and I'm doing air quotes and all that kind of stuff. So they don't want to be affiliated with anything crazy.
Right. Exactly. So I kind of, you know, I've seen both sides of it. I've heard reporting on both ends, like, oh, you know, there's no reporting on to the contrary that he's actually done anything wrong. We need to stop talking about this, blah, blah, blah. But usually, you know, if there's smoke, there's fire. So something had to have happened.
Red Bull would have come out with something already saying that, you know what, unfounded allegations. There's nothing to it. Yeah.
So now the big question is, does this even affect Red Bull?
I kind of wish it would, but probably not.
Right. Because, like, is it going to affect how Max Verstappen drives the car? Probably not. Is it going to affect the strategy? Horner doesn't manage the strategy, really. He's, you know, they've got their 2 separate strategists for each driver.
Right. He manages the team, and they do the strategy. So
correct. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't see it really changing anything. I just think
he's a figurehead. He is. They'll find someone else to be the figurehead, and they'll move on.
Right. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm interested to see what the news is tomorrow, and we'll be sure to post on our socials. I'm sure it'll be posted. I mean, if something major like that happens, it'll be everywhere. So, but
Might be
it'll
a
be
single
huge
Spice
news.
Girl soon.
Yeah, maybe. So who knows? But but yeah, then if he's out, who takes over for Red Bull?
Gunther, let's go.
Yeah,
Gunther Steiner, baby, get him in there.
Get him back.
I might kind of root for Red Bull if that happened. No, I won't.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
Yeah.
No, I won't. But I just love Gunther, and he's fun.
So no, but yeah, so I think those were the two major headlines I kind of took away from, and there, there's been a little bit of everything else, I think, with each individual team, but I think those were the two major storylines.
I think as well. But it's kind of fun because the off season's boring usually. Yeah. And the fact that we got this, for the last month or so, both of these stories, it's given us a lot to talk about and kind of made the off season feel shorter.
The Singapore Grand Prix has been like completely corrupt, and are we even going to go there anymore? Rumors of a Chicago Grand Prix, so a fourth race, and like ultimately angering every European race fan ever. Because why the hell do the states get 4 races or 3 races now?
Now that's drivable,
right?
Chicago,
yeah, absolutely.
Well, sure, it's only an hour and a half flight.
Fine, so I've got my there we go. There's my Coda koozie. So yeah, but no, it will be interesting if a Chicago race does come to fruition. That would be pretty interesting because I think they had it right along the lakeshore, which is even cooler. So,
wow. Yeah, you sent me the proposed layout.
Yeah,
for the circuit.
It's not
looks
bad at all.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that would be a big one.
Yeah.
They had I feel like they had an Indy circuit there once, didn't they? Back in the day.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
more to come, but we'll kind of see what the news goes from there, and what comes of it, really, if it's really going to affect Red Bull long term. I agree with you, Dennis. I don't think it's really going to affect the performance of the team necessarily. It might have a little bit to do with morale and those types of things, but not
in a perfect world. I'd love to see it like screw up strategy in a couple races, and McLaren sneaks in a win or 2 here or there because of it. But being a realist, I don't know.
But it's like you take out the head coach. I mean, things are probably going to be a little different in some respects, so it's not going to be 100% like it normally has been. So who knows? More to come. So we'll see. Testing was last week as well. Did get to watch a little bit of it. I didn't get to watch as much as I did last year, but Red Bull still looks like the dominant force. They have some very interesting aerodynamic changes there. Kind of how the back of the car right behind the halo. It looks like shoulders on that car. It's just insane what they've done, kind of the engine cover area. And then they've almost got the zero side pod layout. They've got, a small little kind of slit right above on the top and one right along the side.
Right.
And it seems like everyone's just trying to play catch up, because a lot of them are using design. Of the other teams, there was noted that they're using a lot of the front wing configuration that Red Bull used last year, where kind of that first foil kind of goes underneath the nose. Well, Red Bull's attaches straight to the front now. And so it seems like everyone's using their old style, and Red Bull's completely revamped, not completely revamped, but done a few different things. And so, and so it seems like the car is exceedingly fast. I know Red Bull was if not, they were the quickest car. I mean, Verstappen was the quickest during testing overall. I know they did come out with the Pirelli released all the times based on the different compounds that each driver had today. Verstappen was by far the fastest, and he actually drove on the hardest compound. He drove on the C3 compound the entire time of testing and had the fastest times on the hard tire. And everyone else was on the C3 or I'm sorry, the C4 or the C5 compound, and was still a second slower.
Because they're not doing the C3 at Bahrain.
No.
I want to say it's C4. I can't remember, but
yeah.
So a lot of the teams were going with the race compound, and they're still getting smoked. So
so if he's on a softer tire, he's still going to be faster, which So it seems like Red Bull is just reloaded, unfortunately. But good, I guess, if you're a Red Bull fan.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's like anything. Dynasties are good for the sport usually, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it brings
And I know
people in.
Damon Hill was quoted in a news article I wrote today saying that this is basically going to be a continuous victory lap for Verstappen all year because he knows it. Everyone knows it. He's just too fast. This is
best
almost
driver
like
in the best car. That's
it's almost like reliving the Vettel days and
the Hamilton days.
The Mercedes and Hamilton days where they were just unstoppable for years and years and years.
You just hope for a mistake. That's pretty much the only hope. Mistake or a reliability issue.
Right. And Verstappen made no mistakes last year.
No,
I mean, he was perfect like all year.
You know what? In a funny way, and I mean, I guess when you're winning all the time, you feel pretty good about yourself. But he really seems to have lightened up.
Yeah,
he always seemed like very like. But even in the the few episodes I've watched of the new season of Drive to Survive, he's like talking to the camera now. He's joking around. I was like, okay, but yeah, I guess when you're winning all the time, it's I guess you're going to feel a little better, right?
Right. But I think the teams that are really going to struggle, Haas, I think, is going to be an unmitigated disaster.
I'm worried about Williams.
Yeah. Williams, didn't look great.
I felt like they were, making strides last year.
Alpine doesn't look great either. They looked fairly slow.
Celebrity money ain't working.
Yeah, I know. And then kind of the rest of the midfield is the usual stuff. So the Kick Sauber, whatever Stake. No, they're not Stake anymore. It's Kick Sauber.
Yeah, it's Kick Sauber, but it's owned by Stake.
Yeah, but they can't be owned by Stake because it's not legal. I can't remember the exact things, but it's an ugly green ass car. It's terrible, I think, but I don't like their livery whatsoever. But
no,
we'll soon be Audi, which will be fun. So just got to wait a couple more years for that.
Yeah, just kind of, that's all they're doing. Sauber's just kind of waiting it out. So they just probably went with the highest bidder for now and hope they can just build some continuity going in Audi.
Right. And then I think second, third, and fourth is going to be between Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes.
Correct.
Ferrari's going to show up. They have two great drivers. They've got the backing, they've got the tech, they've got everything they need to have a super fast car. Now, whether or not they can put a whole race together, and if Leclerc can actually win a pole and win the damn race, is something else to be said. Right. Just because, it's great for one lap, but you have to do it for, and they did show signs at the end of the year, Ferrari did anyway, of being a really strong car. I mean, Leclerc.
And it's, Vestier's first year last year as principal, right? So they probably improved throughout the year with their team strategy and all that. But man, they're so fun to make fun of.
They are so fun. Yeah. Obviously we're both homers for McLaren. So I'm hoping and thinking they're going to have a great season this year. They really only improved. I mean, they this time last year, it's like, oh God, this will be like the worst year ever. It's going to be 17th, 18th place all season long. And it was for the first 7-8 races. It was really hard to watch. And then Silverstone happened. It's like, oh, here we go.
And then it was like constant podiums.
Podiums.
Well, shit, the Austin race we went to, he led the first 30-something laps.
Yeah.
So
he probably should have won the damn race.
Yeah, I mean,
Oscar won a sprint race. I mean, so
they're right there.
They're right there. Right. I mean, it's right there. So just got to get him across the finish line. Get that first win for Lando hopefully this year. And I think Piastri's got a solid chance of winning some races.
He's a great driver. They got two great drivers right now. Real quick, I promised the wife, shout out to Lando from Right On. She loves Lando.
So like Lando Norris, if you're listening.
And she, and maybe a wink over to Carlos Sainz for different reasons.
Yeah,
but
there you go. Yeah. So hopefully if we get big enough, then we can have him on the show. And then
there you go. No, my wife doesn't need to meet either one of them. It's not. No, that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, you never know. So, but
I don't know. What is this?
Hey, we can dream. Start small.
It could happen.
Get bigger and bigger.
It could happen. Hey, maybe we can get Christian on if he might need a gig, right?
He gets fired. Be like, hey, we're pro you. Come on, buddy.
Yeah,
come and talk.
Come over. We've always loved Red Bull. you know?
Yeah. My 11-year-old daughter. Oh, so depressing, depressing news. So Eliza had liked Red Bull for the past couple of years. She informed me a few days ago that she is now a Ferrari fan. And I said, oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, that's a shame. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was like, why?
Does she know? Yeah. What's the why behind it?
She's like, well, I think so. I think she's got a friend at dance. Her dad's a big Ferrari guy.
Oh,
and so I think it's kind of rubbed off on that.
I get it. Fine. That's how it works, right? That's fine.
And she doesn't want to like the same people that I like, I guess, which whatever. That's fine. So
tell me about it. I got one. My girls like drivers.
Yeah.
So one of them loves Lewis Hamilton. So she'll probably also be a Ferrari fan when he goes over.
Right.
And the other one loves Sergio Perez for some reason. She just loves Perez, which I'm like, I'm okay with that. I like Perez.
This is a good dude.
Yeah. So we'll see where he's racing next year.
Yeah. So, but overall, I think Red Bull's the team to beat.
They are.
So until something and someone else steps up, that's just the way it is, unfortunately. So
we'll hope for weather and stuff like that to screw with people.
I mean,
a mistake or a reliability issue. This is what we're hoping for.
Right. But it seems like they've got it figured out right now. I mean, they're just
they're dialed in.
Hot streak. They got everything's humming. But if Horner is, shown the exit this week, does that affect things dramatically overall? Like I said before, I don't see it, but yet to be seen. It's a long season. So we got 9 months of racing to come. So this is pretty amazing. So I like how long the season is now. Yeah. So next thing, just wanted to kind of touch on the upcoming Grand Prix in Bahrain. Practice starts here in about, just over about 36 hours from now.
Yep.
So Thursday morning in the United States will, be the first round of practice. And then
a little weird.
Yeah, qualifying on Friday, and then the race is actually on Saturday. So planning on trying to watch it on Sunday. It's on Saturday, 9:00 in the Central Time Zone in the States, and so plan accordingly for watching the first race of the year. But any predictions, insights, anything that you're kind of looking to see here for the first race of the year?
I mean, obviously, we talked about Red Bull. I mean, if I'm putting money on it, and I probably will, Max will win. But I really think I think McLaren's going to do something. I think they're going to be pushing them. Obviously Homer, you see the orange hat, the papaya hat, excuse me, on my head. But I think they're just going to carry that momentum forward. There was nothing in testing that showed me otherwise. I thought they looked good. They held back a little bit on, was it day 3, but they still ended up with like the 4th fastest lap, but I think it's going to be McLaren and possibly Ferrari. Those two will be battling it out. That's my gut right now, based on what I've seen so far. I think it's those two. And I think Mercedes is right behind them, and the rest of it, I don't know, man. The rest of the field is just,
it's really hard.
I don't think Mercedes will podium. I'd be surprised. Okay.
Yeah, I think after those 4 teams, it's really hard to tell like where everyone's. I think Haas will be at the bottom.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it'd be nice to have
maybe Alpine.
But Alpine might be.
Did they drop?
I think it's going to be between Alpine and Williams for
second to worst.
Second to worst. I think kicks out. I think Bottas and Zhou, they'll have a decent year. It won't be great, but it'll be okay.
You know what? I want to add something too, real quick. I that RB team, whatever AlphaTauri used to be called, they might make some noise because Yuki and Ricardo, they're running pretty well. Yeah, and they put in. Was it? I'm trying to remember what Ricardo was putting in some fast laps.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. I'm not going to like it.
And it's hard to know too what Aston's going to wind up with to start the year, because they started off like a rocket ship last year. And then just didn't kind of keep up with upgrades and stuff throughout the year.
Right.
So,
which is kind of how they do it, right?
Yeah. And Aston could be a total dark horse because Stroll's pumping money into that team, and his goal is to win a championship, and I don't think he's going to stop until he gets
Lance
there. So.
Kind of surprised me. I've never really been a Lance fan, but he raced really well last year. Yeah. And obviously we know what Alonso can do. So the guy's outstanding, all-time great.
But it was interesting to just kind of see how far that car kind of degraded throughout the year. They didn't really make improvements.
Yeah, they didn't improve like everyone else did. Yeah.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where they start the year. They were kind of in the middle in the testing field as well. So I think it's kind of a total crapshoot. I think, those 4 teams we talked about with Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes will probably predominantly be in the top 10 for the race here. And then it'll kind of see how it shakes out below that with all those other teams. But, I think Aston could be a dark horse again this year. And I agree with you. I think the RB, Cash App, Visa team, whatever.
Red Bull Junior.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think they could make some noise. I mean, they've got 2 experienced drivers. Ricardo showed signs of his old self, and his ultimate goal is to get back to that second seat behind Max. And so
he's gunning for Perez's seat.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be hard to beat Perez though. Cause Perez he's a good teammate, and I can see button heads, but I guess he's also had his moments of button heads with Perez, that is with Verstappen as well throughout the years, so, competing for wins and those types of things. So it's just hard when you've got 2 strong drivers and a super strong car. So
right.
I just
the 2 best cars, right?
Right, exactly. So it'll be interesting. But so you think Verstappen? What's your top 3? What's your podium for Bahrain?
For Bahrain, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go Verstappen, Norris, Sainz. That's my podium.
Yeah, not bad. Now I was gonna do first 2 are the same
order.
Yeah, Verstappen, Norris, and then I've actually got Russell finishing 3rd.
Oh, you got the Mercedes up there. Okay, yeah.
So I
okay,
think,
that'll be fun. Let's see. We'll see where it goes. So, we said it out loud now, and we recorded it. So
right. So
damn it.
We'll see how good we are.
Parlay. I mean, can I?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be in Arizona this week. I guess I could place
there. You go. I'll send you some cash from the winnings. I mean. Yeah, we can talk about that offline too, but
wrong podcast
for the weekend. So, yeah. So, and last thing, besides the race this weekend, just wanted to kind of wrap up the show here with any bold predictions we have for the year. I guess my big one, I've got a few. I think Lando wins a race this year. I think it'll be probably more over the summer. I could see either Silverstone, which I think would be great to have a Brit win at Silverstone, or the Hungaroring. It seemed like those tracks were more conducive to the McLaren.
Well, they got that straight line speed.
Just because, but I think in the straights and stuff, that it's just hard to beat that Red Bull from time to time. But
it is.
It seemed like in some of those more technical courses, in case in point would be Singapore last year. The Red Bull struggled mightily in Singapore last year, and so. But it really depends on strategy, obviously, and all those types of things, and just how the drivers kind of adapt throughout the year, and then how the teams adapt throughout the year with their upgrades and those types of things as well. So
right.
I think Norris wins 2 races this year. That's my bold prediction. I think he wins 2 races. I think Verstappen still wins the drivers' championship this year. I think Red Bull wins the constructors again. But I see McLaren finishing 2nd in the constructors, and I see Ferrari finishing 3rd and Mercedes 4th.
So does that put Norris 2nd in the driver standings?
Yes.
And ooh, I like it. It.
Yeah. So I'd say top 3 would be Verstappen, Norris. 3rd. Who would be 3rd? It's tough. Yeah. I don't know. I'll say Sainz. I'll go with your Bahrain order. I think that's all the season.
Bahrain order?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good, man. Some really good predictions there. I don't have as many, I don't think.
Although I do have money on Lando winning the drivers' championship.
I don't see why not. What were the odds on that?
Plus 850.
Oh yeah.
He was the second behind Max. He was number 2. So what does Vegas know?
What does Vegas know?
It's like they raced there too. So
I'm going. I mean, is it my turn? Can I do
Yeah.
Okay. So for the year, I'm with you on constructors and drivers championship. I can't feel good about going against Red Bull on this. I want them to lose, but
Right.
Max is going to win. The Red Bull's going to win the constructors. I do think Lando is going to get his first win this year. I also think Yuki Tsunoda. I'm just big on this guy. I think he's going to get his first podium. He might get multiple podiums this year.
Okay.
I think so. He's got that car's coming along.
Right.
That's how I'm seeing it. I think the standings will be Max, Lando, Leclerc. I think Leclerc is going to be up there fighting. And I think Haas is going to have another year with 0 points. They're just not going to do shit this year.
0 points, really?
0 points.
Wow. No faith.
They're awful. Can Andretti buy the team, please? Oh, we didn't talk about Andretti. That's the other offseason.
Oh, true. Maybe because that's for the next episode. That was
a big story until all this other shit happened.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so maybe that's the impetus for Formula One. Be like, hey, you've got this American team that probably has way better investors.
They have General Motors backing them
behind them to make engines.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Let's go.
Andretti Motorsport is one of the biggest names in the world in racing. So one dude, one guy that doesn't want him there in F1.
I wonder at what point Gene Haas is like, I'm tired of spending all of my money on this team that doesn't do anything.
They can't be making money.
Right. And Mario and Michael Andretti are like, hey, want us to buy you?
Yeah.
So
yeah. They said they're still trying, because for some reason they, not that we need to get into all this right now, but they, it was something like F1 was saying no to the 25 season, but then Andretti's like, well, we were aiming for 26 anyways. So sounds like
you've got
it'll get delayed, but
Andretti coming in at the same time.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It'll be interesting. 26 is going to be a really interesting year. And again, we can, this is all future stuff we can talk about down the road, but that'll be an interesting year for sure. So
it'll be fun.
No, this is great. I think pretty solid. I mean, kind of boring predictions, obviously, with Max winning the whole thing, but it'll be interesting to see kind of how the year shakes out for certain. So
this happens though. This is what F1 does, and that's why they reset the regs every few years, right? Because they make you start from scratch. And
I like the Yuki podium finishes. That'll be
I think so. Multiple. Yeah, we need at least 2 for me to be right?
Yeah, because I think the last time they've had a podium was it Gasly?
That's got to be right. Be right. Yeah.
So we'll see. Who knows? So all right. Well,
awesome.
You got anything else major? That's about all I got.
This has been great, Shaun.
Yeah, kind of a quick first show here, but kind of got over some good topics and some good stuff here. So again, you've listened to us today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. We plan on trying to do this weekly as much as we can, keeping up to date with the races as they go out throughout the year. Obviously, if major news chimes in, probably won't be able to do it with the Horner announcement if and when that happens. But we'll try to
follow us on social media, and you can keep up.
So we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. I don't think we're on X yet.
We're on YouTube, so this will be. Hopefully, you're watching this on YouTube right now.
Right. Yeah. And so just be hoping to. I tried my first attempt at content with the Stewie Griffin, Bill O'Reilly, Williams response to testing, and that seemed to be
chef's kiss. It was beautiful.
So I think we're learning as we go.
That's right.
We'll kind of get the hang of it, and in a couple of years we'll be looking back as we're interviewing world famous race car drivers, hopefully. So
that's right. With our trackside passes.
And I think for the listeners too, we don't want to focus this it's primarily going to be a Formula One thing, but we'll probably even talk some IndyCar as the year goes along too.
It's coming up too, so it's kind of fun. It's
probably more the open wheel. I'm probably not going to get much into the ovals, that kind of racing. That's not the show. So
no.
Plenty of other ones for that. So we're just going to stick to the turning left and right and actual strategy and not driving into a wall and just pouring it. So
like when you crash into each other as a strategy, that's not racing. Yeah. So NASCAR can.
So if you hate us for not liking NASCAR, tough shit. I don't care.
Then stop listening. So, that's fine. F1's better. It just is what it is.
But follow us, like us on YouTube, subscribe. But we look forward to another great season of Formula One, and look forward to talking throughout things throughout the rest of the year. So thanks for listening, and talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.